well, my frightful financial fiends. Welcome to the October edition of the RPAG Scoop, or Spook, if you will. It's that time of year when the shadows lengthen and the spooks come out to play. I'm your host, Oogie Boogie, the bag of bugs with a bag of wisdom for you. Tonight, we're diving headfirst into A Nightmare Before Retirement. It's a scream-worthy adventure, so fasten your seatbelts, folks. We've got blood-curdling updates, investments that'll make your bones rattle, and insight so good it's practically a scream. So grab your pumpkin spice lattes, and let's haunt this financial town together. But before we jump into the cauldron of investment knowledge, let's wander through the graveyard of RPAG updates. I hope you ate some garlic today, because I have a feeling you're going to run into one of our unearthly friends.
Hey folks, welcome to this week's edition of the RPAG Scoop. My name is Luke Vampire Millen, and today I'll be taking you through some of the exciting updates we have here at RPAG. Let's go ahead and get started. First off, we want to send out a big thank you to all of our members who attended the RPAG National Conference this year. We had a record-breaking attendance, and we also want to send out a big thank you to all of our partners who help us put on such a great event. We had 3 straight days of sun, fun, and great educational content, and our members learned a lot about how to grow their retirement practice. If you're interested in checking out some of the sessions from National Conference but couldn't attend, or want to look at some of our past webinars, we have a new YouTube page for RPAG. You can find it on YouTube by searching for RPAG, and here you can find recorded videos ranging from tutorials on how to use the RPAG resources all the way to webinars that our partners put on about hot topics within the industry. We also have a blog page that we regularly update called insights.rpag.com. You can find it on the RPAG website. Here, you'll find monthly newsletters, updates about RPAG technology and resources, as well as participant education content that you can take right off the website and white label to your own firm. One of the questions I got asked most at the RPAG National Conference this year is, what's the best way to get in touch with the RPAG support team? Now, you're always free to call us at 949-305-3859, or you can email us at support@rpag.com. But another great way to get in touch with the RPAG support team is the Ask RPAG feature. You can find this feature directly on the RPAG Advisor portal. And here you can find questions that members of your firm, as well as members of other firms, have asked, whether it's related to ERISA compliance, scorecard methodology, or even tutorials on how to run reports. You can find it by searching for keywords, or you can keep a list of questions that you've asked in the past. Now, let's finally get to some updates. As most of you know, we recently rolled out RFP Express, which is the industry's most efficient RFP and fee benchmarking resource. After we rolled out RFP Express, we got a lot of great feedback from our advisors about adding features that can make RFP Express even more powerful and usable for our members. So I'm excited to announce today that we are finally live with some of our most requested features for RFP Express. These features include enhanced custom quote options, give you more options to request quotes from record keepers, being able to quote startup plans as well as pet plans through RFP Express. And finally, the one that I'm most excited for, the ability now to receive fully open architecture quotes through RFP Express. If you haven't seen RFP Express or are interested in using it, feel free to reach out to our support team at support@rpag.com. Now, if you attended the national conference this year for RPAG and attended the main stage presentations on Sunday, our Vice President of Business Development, Jesse Taylor, went over some exciting enhancements and also recapped some of the enhancements we've made over the past years. For 2022, some of our most exciting enhancements included our ESG ratings report, the rollover analyzer report that complies with PTE 2020-02, cybersecurity reporting options to make sure that your providers are adhering to strict cybersecurity policies, as well as enhancing the fund lookup metrics. Another great feature that some folks don't know about quite yet is RPAG can link with CRM systems through an API connection. So if you use Salesforce, Redtail, or another CRM, as long as that CRM system can accept an API connection, RPAG can actually link to it and feed information into that CRM system. Again, if you're interested in setting that up, reach out to us at support@rpag.com. We also want to recap some of the enhancements that we've made this year in 2023. This is including efficiency options like the one-click scorecard option that you've probably seen on the plan card, or the new quarterly report option, which allows you to run basically a short fiduciary investment review with just a click of a button. We've also done things like simplified the fee card and enhanced the detail that you include on the service plan page so that you can easily input and export client information in a much more streamlined way now. And lastly, we've also announced our partnership with Venrollment, where communicating with participants has become easier than ever through their cutting edge technology. And finally, Jesse did a great job of showcasing some of the enhancements coming up for 2023 and beyond. Some of these include our new marketing blueprint resource that's going to streamline your marketing process to plan sponsors and make you more efficient than ever when reaching out to those folks. We also have a new RPAG training resource called RPAG University, which is video-based and allows yourself to enroll in courses that help you master the RPAG tools and technology. And we'll also be doing some revamps of some classic favorites within RPAG, including the fiduciary fitness program, which helps plan sponsors minimize fiduciary liability, as well as revamping our financial wellness program. Lastly, let's wrap up with some new RPAG Resource Center items that you should check out. On Monday of the National Conference for RPAG, President of RPAG, Nick Delavadova, gave a great presentation about how advisors can continue to grow their retirement practice as well as make it more efficient. If you're interested in checking out this presentation, you can look at in the RPAG Resource Center under the RPAG National Conference presentation folder, where you'll find copies of Nick's presentation as well as all of the other presentations that happened during the RPAG National Conference. And again, like I said earlier, all the recordings are going to be up on YouTube as well. We've also posted a non-hosted webinar for October for premium marketing members. Now, if you're not familiar with the non-hosted webinar series, RPAG's marketing team essentially puts together an entire kit for you to run a webinar for clients and prospects. We create the deck, all of the administration items as well. All you need to do is set up the Zoom meeting and invite your clients and prospects. Again, this is exclusive to premium marketing content members, but if you're interested in checking it out, you can find it under the content marketing plan in the RPAG Resource Center. And then lastly, a couple of webinars that we recently had here at RPAG. Our friends at Putnam did a quick overview of Secure Act implementation and what opportunities lie within for advisors. That was on September 26th. You can find that recording both in the RPAG Video Learning Center as well as our YouTube page. And lastly, we're excited to kick off our Back to School series, where the RPAG service team, our advisor service team, will be doing some basics training on how to utilize RPAG to the best of your ability. We'll be starting off on September 27th with a RPAG orientation session going over the basics of RPAG. Again, love to have you check that out live, but if you miss it, you can view it on our YouTube page as well as the RPAG Video Learning Center. Thanks again for your time, folks. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at support@rpag.com or 949-305-3859. And don't forget about the Ask RPAG resource as well.
Wasn't that chilling? Keep your lanterns lit and your wits about you, because the financial spirits are restless tonight. I see one of our investment sorceresses, Lauren Neeno, flying in on her broomstick. Let's see what she has to offer you.
Hello, RPAG. I'm Lauren Neeno, flexPATH's resident plan advisor. It's my pleasure to bewitch you today, giving the October investment scoop. I hope everyone that was able to attend RPAG National Conference last month had an absolutely magical time. I know I did, but in case you missed it, I'm going to review the workshop session that I held at conference, Resources for Servicing Your flexPATH Clients. Today, we'll go over where you can find various flexPATH materials on the RPAG Resource Center. We'll then hop into a little dive on the Target Date Fund quarterly update. I will probably highlight some of the slides that I find are most compelling for committees when giving maybe a 15 to 20-minute update during a committee meeting. And that's where we will end today. So getting right into it, the RPAG Resource Center has a ton of information on the various different flexPATH products You can find all of these under CITs and custom target date funds. First, starting with the turnkey solutions. Hopefully you've heard of these, but My Fiduciary Path is our turnkey solution with Empower, and then the Retirement Plan Exchange with Fiduciary Path is our turnkey solution with Transamerica. Both are basically a way for your clients to outsource the most fiduciary responsibility that they can, while offering their clients a very turnkey solution that gives them hopefully better pricing than they could get on their own, being potentially maybe a smaller plan. Or if a committee maybe just wants a preset solution, they don't have to necessarily be a small plan. That's a great solution for those kinds of clients as well. Then we have, for our target date funds listed on the Resource Center, you can find anything from QSIPs to participant materials to sales materials. And then, of course, the target date fund quarterly update, which I will be walking us through in a minute here. And then various other marketing materials and one-pagers as well. And then finally, the single manager CITs. These are those standalone active CITs that we offer. The same strategy as the mutual fund, but at a lower cost for your clients. Because you are an RPAG member, you are able to offer a very unique product to them, or I guess the same product to them, but at a unique and lower cost. So we have the CIT one-pager, the CIT overview, all of the participation agreements on the Resource Center as well for you to grab. Some other resources that are available to you. Of course, the flexPATH team. You may know the 4 salesmen, Kellen, Matt, Alex, and Jonathan. There's myself as well. Any of us, as well as our RPAG support, are happy to get you in touch with the flexPATH team. Things you can request from our team: the target date fund fit analysis. This is a suitability analysis specific to your client, where we go through a bunch of participant information, plan data, savings rates, things of that nature. And then through the analysis, we are able to determine the best fit risk posture for that plan specifically, whether that be conservative, moderate, or aggressive for their target date fund series. There's also the comparison reports that you can request, which if you're looking, for example, for JP Morgan versus flexPATH Index Plus, or Vanguard versus flexPATH Index, we can give you a comparison report that kind of walks through all of the key analytics that you'd maybe want to compare in those different target date funds. And then, of course, a total cost analysis. This can be used for clients or prospects. And basically, you'd provide us the lineup of your, for example, prospect, and then we'd be able to show you what it would look like if we mapped that lineup to the entire suite of flexPATH standalone CITs and flexPATH target date funds. And then we'd be able to show you at the end how much, in savings that would amount to for that prospect, and hopefully win you that business. There's also flexpathstrategies.com, which is our website that recently got revamped. We have fact sheets listed on there, tons of information on all of our flexPATH products, target date funds, and standalone CITs. So definitely take a look if you haven't in a little while. And also housed on the flexPATH website is the Discover Your Path tool, which is a calculator tool for participants to help them determine their most appropriate flexPATH target date fund. So it will ask them 5 simple questions about their age and savings behavior. They'll click next, and then the tool will automatically recommend their most appropriate vintage and risk level. So whether that be the conservative, moderate, or aggressive risk level. So really hands-on tool for those participants who are looking for a little extra guidance in determining their most appropriate flexPATH fund. Now moving to the flexPATH Index Quarterly Update. This is a deck that we post on the Resource Center every quarter that gives you really the highlights of what happened to the funds over the quarter. So performance, score changes, any underlying fund changes or fee reductions, all that information can be found in this deck. What I've done here is I've pulled out a few key slides that I tend to hit on if I'm asked to present maybe a 15 to 20 minute update in a committee meeting. And I will review here with you all what the highlights of those slides are. So you know your committee best, you know how well informed they are on the flexPATH structure and oversight. But if it's been a while since you've reviewed this with your client, I like to go back through it just for a real, basic update. So I start with BlackRock. They are our glide path manager for the flexPATH target date funds. So they're the ones setting those equity to bond allocations as a participant moves towards retirement. I also like to give their really strong credentials of being the largest asset manager in the world, as well as being the creator of the target date fund. So I think that definitely instills a lot of confidence and just that reminder that, hey, we've got some big players in this target date fund. And that moves us over to flexPATH's role. We are the 338 independent fiduciary to selecting and monitoring the underlying funds. Our team is tasked with replacing any underlying funds as we see fit. If a strategy is no longer performing or sticking to the investment philosophy that is stated for them. And then finally, we have Great Gray on the right-hand side here. They recently went through a name change. So they were formerly Wilmington Trust, but this is the same company. Great Gray is our same partner that's been involved since day one, and they are our trustee to the CITs. So they are the ones who house the CITs. And then this is a newer slide to our quarterly update deck. And the 2023 Sway Research report highlights that flexPATH is actually the largest multi-glide path target date fund manager with 89% market share. So I would say that is a very astounding accomplishment. I think this just highlights, the unique value that your client and other clients also see in having a multiple glide path approach. And then we're also the fastest growing target date fund manager over the last 3 years with 31% average annual growth in assets under management. So just a cool study that's highlighting really how big and how widespread flexPATH really is. And then, of course, the risk-based glide paths. One of the absolute hallmarks of flexPATH that really makes it custom is the multiple glide path approach that is managed by BlackRock. For my client, I like to highlight which of the 3 glide paths is used as the QDIA for that plan. So for example, I would say, your QDIA is the moderate line, or that blue line in the middle there. And that is used for participants who are defaulted into the plan and don't make any other investment selections. However, at any time, a participant can move away from that moderate glide path and into the more aggressive or the more conservative glide paths per their risk tolerance. Also, time permitting, I like to prepare before the meeting by doing a little bit of research on either assets in the 3 different glide paths or a breakdown of participant usage by glide path. So I would like to be able to bring a little bit of concrete evidence as to how their participants are really utilizing these. So I'd, for example, be able to say, hey, I see that 90% of your target date fund users are actually using that moderate glide path, but we've seen maybe 6% of participants move to that aggressive glide path, and then we've seen the other 4% move to that conservative glide path. So just really reinstating that it's wonderful that you're offering this solution that is able to provide customization to participants who either need or desire to take more risk within their target date funds. After speaking about the multiple glide paths, committees will often ask, what resources do you have available to our participants that can help them decide between the conservative, moderate, or aggressive glide path? And your answer is the Discover Your Path tool. I mentioned this earlier. It's that calculator that is simple to use for participants. They answer 5 simple questions related to their age and savings behavior, and then the calculator automatically outputs the most appropriate target date fund for that participants' specific needs. So just a great tool for some more of that hands-on help for participants. And then I always mention fees, of course. I won't dive into it too much here. I have the R1 or the 0 rev share class of flexPATH index shown on the screen. I would say the average expense of the flexPATH index target date fund suite is 13 basis points. We also have the R2 and R3 listed on here that offer 25 basis points of revenue sharing and then 50 basis points of revenue sharing in those different share classes as well. And then I'll review the underlying funds. So to monitor the funds within the flexPATH suite, we use the same exact scorecard system that you use with your clients to go through any of the core lineup funds. So you can kind of reassure them that that same process is being used by the flexPATH team when looking at the underlying funds within the target date fund suite. You can see here that they're scoring exceptionally with the average underlying score at a 9.6 with 0 funds on the watch list. So that is fantastic. And then finally, I feel the need to always touch on this risk return snapshot slide. I think this slide definitely resonates with clients, maybe the most of any slide in this quarterly update. And it really shows performance in the context of what we've done with the multiple glide paths. So when offering different risk levels, participants that want to use the aggressive glide path versus the conservative glide path have different risk preferences and objectives in general. So someone who is looking to utilize the aggressive glide path is usually seeking to maximize return and take full advantage of up markets. So you can see on the left-hand side of the screen here that flexPATH index is doing that for those aggressive participants. They are a higher up capture ratio than the industry average target date fund, and flexPATH index also has a higher return than the industry average target date fund. And then moving to the right-hand side of the screen here, which is maybe even more important for those conservative investors who worry about the down markets. They're looking to minimize their risk. They, don't want to be kept up at night thinking about all of the risks they're taking in their retirement plan investments. Well, they have the option to move into that more conservative, lower risk glide path within flexPATH. And you can see here that flexPATH index conservative does have lower down capture ratio and standard deviation, meaning less risk and less volatility for those participants, hopefully helping them to stay the course and avoid some of the pitfalls that we see from time to time when markets get a little bit uncertain, like panic selling and moving to cash or something like that. So definitely a compelling slide here. I think it really just shows that flexPATH is capitalizing on and hitting the different objectives of different participants within that are using the flexPATH target date funds. So hopefully that was a helpful update on the resources available to you for servicing your flexPATH clients. That wraps up the October investment scoop. I hope you have a safe and spooky Halloween. Thank you so much.
I hope that you use some of Lauren's magical flexPATH potions to help your clients before they come to the other side of retirement, that is. Now, I heard one of our friends from Alliance Bernstein had a message for us from beyond the grave.
Hello, my name's Lou Sideropoulos, and I lead the retirement sales team at Alliance Bernstein. First, let me start with a thank you. Thank you for your partnership, whether it's with our Large Cap Growth 3 CIT, Small Cap Growth 2 CIT, or any of the AB managed solutions that you may be using. We appreciate your business, and it's something we don't take for granted. We also appreciate what you all have to deal with in our industry on a daily basis. It seems like when you finish dealing with one obstacle, there's another one waiting for you. Whether it's the volatility in the capital markets, legislative changes, technology, learning how to communicate virtually, or simply the challenges in running your own practice. I like to spend the next minute or two making you aware of a resource that Alliance Bernstein has that can assist in many of the challenges you're facing today. So at AB, we have a practice management group called the Advisor Institute, which is led by a gentleman, Ken Heyman. Ken, who was a practicing psychotherapist for over 20 years, has created a library of programs, videos, blogs, white papers on over 50 different topics. But those programs overlay behavioral science, marketing, and communication with the different challenges our industry faces. And Ken's programs take a unique approach. He not only identifies the challenge in the objective or the proposed solution, but he makes sure the advisor understands why he's taking the approach he's going to take. And as a former psychotherapist, all of his programs takes into account how the human brain works and why certain behaviors take over in certain situations. And by understanding how the brain works and reacts, communicating your message in a certain way increases the probability of success. Now, the curriculum his team has built ranges from writing an impactful email or leaving an effective voicemail to having a difficult conversation with your client to generating an ongoing referral source. It covers all the different topics. But more importantly, after understanding the emotional needs of a client, prospect, or employee, his program gives a step-by-step guide on how to address a situation to maximize results. So if I look at the programs today, the two most popular pieces are, there's a white paper right now on our website. It's called Inspiring Referrals from Clients, Acquaintances, and Social Media. Simply, it goes over how to generate referrals without directly asking for referrals. And the other popular program in the retirement space is a program called Chasing Excellence. And that goes over the evolution of a DC plan and how what may have been considered an excellent plan design 10 years ago may be substandard or even worse today. It then shows the advisors how to position themselves to take over those plans. So whether you or your team members on the retirement side or the private wealth side are looking to grow or manage a business, connect with clients or prospects, or simply build and lead a team, take a moment, look through the Advisor Institute curriculum, what it has to offer. Go to abfunds.com. Under the Practice Management tab, you'll be introduced to many of the programs. Or as always, reach out to your Alliance Bernstein representative for more information. Thank you.
Well, my ghoulish gang, the time has come to close the crypt on another spine-tingling episode of the RPAG Scoop. I hope you've had a howling good time navigating the nightmare before retirement with me, Oogie Boogie. Remember, the financial scares never truly end, and we'll be back before you can say Pumpkin King. Until then, may your portfolios be as robust as a werewolf under a full moon, and your clients' dreams as sweet as a bag of candy. Farewell, my frightful friends, and remember, stay spooky.